words about senior fraud. First of all, the size of the problem is enormous. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars per year. And it's just, you know, and the people that get into it, the criminals, I mean, they have zero conscience. They'll strip you of every penny, every nickel that you have. And you know, the big question is why do they come after people like us? And you know, at one level, and again, it doesn't apply to every person, but this is where the money is. I mean, again, we're not all millionaires, and we're not all, you know, filthy rich or anything to the effect. But what we do have is probably a little bit of equity in our property. We may have a little 401k tucked away, et cetera, et cetera. And so therefore, you know, just that in and of itself is where these perpetrators come to get some money. And you know, the other reason they come after people our age is, you know, we were brought up to be polite. We were brought up to be respectful of people. You know, we were brought up to take people at their word. And these crooks know that. And any little piece of information they can get about us, they use. You know, as a matter of fact, you know, again, I'm 67, and so I'm part of the baby boomer generation, right? And those are people that were born between 1946 and 1964. And there's a big bubble of baby boomers today. You know, that and the previous generation represent about 30% of the population of the United States. But 10,000 baby boomers retire every day, turn 65 every day. That's how many baby boomers there are. And when you're a crook in this kind of a game, they look at that as their market. And they're saying, oh man, our market's growing, going bigger, bigger, and bigger. And so it's just it's a lucrative market for these people. Now, you know, so, you know, the question is, what can we do about it? And you know, what we look at is, first of all, personally, I don't trust anybody I don't know. And unfortunately, I was never like that. But today, to protect yourself, you almost have to steel yourself to that. And you know, like you know, when you get these robocalls on the telephone, and they call up and they inundate you every day with phone calls. The point there, unless you know the person calling in, don't answer the phone. It's real simple. And because if you do it, if you get frustrated and you answer the phone, and just simply answering the phone gives the people a message that there's someone at that house willing to answer the phone. It gives them a message. And you know how sometimes you'll get a call and it'll say, you know, hit 1 for this, hit 3 for that, and et cetera, et cetera. Don't ever pick it up and hit anything. Because again, you hit these numbers, it just indicates to these people that you're a willing participant. And by all means, you get the calls from, you know, like Vacation Land and et cetera, and some little sweet voice on the other end says, oh, by the way, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And if you say yes to any of those types of questions, that can be used as an electronic signature for other scams. So just keep all that in the back of your mind. And in terms of volume, right? 2.5 billion. The average in 2017 was 2.5 billion robocalls a month across the United States. And again, it's just a big pain in the neck number. The other thing you can do is we've recently set up a helpline at the RSVP Center in Worcester. The number is 800-297-2760. You'll get information to that effect when we pass out the information. And to date, it's been very successful. You know, we've had over 100 calls, and you know, from a dollars and cents perspective, because people tell us how much they're being asked to spend and all that. So far, we've saved these people a little bit over $80,000. And that's a pretty good piece of money. And what we feel good about is that they can now use this money for other purposes. Purposes to try to improve the quality of their life. Instead of giving this money to scammers, they can buy better medical insurance and buy better, dental insurance and prescription drug coverage and better medical equipment. So again, it feels real good that the helpline is helping people one person at a time. And it's really interesting with these people. They get on the phone and they're very, very nervous. They're very antsy. A lot of people feel awkward even calling. And sometimes it's probably their wife or spouse saying, I can get on the phone or I'm out of here. So, and so they get on the phone really nervous, but by the time we've walked them off the edge, walked them back from the edge, they're much more relaxed, comfortable, and they've learned a big lesson. Because all we're trying to do is increase people's awareness of this big problem and try to put enough information out there to stop them from giving these crooks their money. So that's kind of all I had to say. And what I'd like to do now is introduce Mike Manzillo, and with my other young lady here, Joyce Charrier. And they're going to perform what's called the Work at Home scheme. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Change of order.
We're short all kinds of people, so we're going to change things around.
Yeah, I was gonna do order, I think.
Well, but we're going to start with the lottery, so there's no audience with the lottery.
Oh.
Okay, so we're going to do the lottery winner. And I'm sorry, this is Joyce Sharia and Mike Manzillo.
Yes. Can you hear me? Yes. Hello?
Oh, we got a winner. We got a winner here.
What? Hello?
Hello, or should I say congratulations. You're our grinding prize winner. How do you feel?
Well, I don't know. What did I win?
Honestly, we've been trying to reach you. Yep, we have.
But what did I win?
You're the big winner of Detroit Automakers Lottery, worth $1.2 million in cash.
No.
Oh, you're right. Cash is only part of it. You also get the American-made car of your choice.
Oh, but I didn't buy a ticket to this lottery.
Well, but you did. Or perhaps someone who loves you did. Who could that be? Well, perhaps someone you know went shopping recently, or for a new car and bought a ticket in your name from a dealership. One of the great things about this is that those people who purchase Detroit Automakers lottery tickets are showing their patriotism. Buy America. Sounds like someone in your family? Well, that's usually what happens. I'll have to locate the name of the purchaser, but we can do that later. But right now, just think about that brand new car delivered right to your home this coming weekend.
Really? Is this true?
Oh, yep, really, it's true.
What's the gimmick?
Oh, there's no gimmick. What kind of person would try to trick a wonderful person like you? No, I just want to give you a little extra help. Go ahead and name that vehicle you want brand new. What car you desire?
Well, I've always wanted a beautiful silver Cadillac.
Oh, then that's what you should have. You got it. Where do you want it delivered next Saturday?
Saturday? Well, here I guess. 17 Ridge Road, Clinton, Massachusetts.
Okay, got it. I'll get the make and the model in a minute. You will need to cover the taxes and the delivery fees and the processing fee, of course, but that won't be a problem, will it?
Well, it won't be because of the $1.2 million, that's for sure.
Oh, all right, then. Let's see. I'll need your bank account number so that I can get direct deposit of your winnings.
Well, I don't usually give that out.
Oh, of course, I understand. But this isn't your usual set of circumstances, and we only have so much time to get this rolling, or we would have to move on to the next winner.
Next winner? But you said I'm the winner.
Well, you are. But the rules require that you accept the prizes and get this wrapped up in a total of 15 minutes. Right now, we've used up about 5. We either conclude this within the 15 all in, or I'm forced to move on. I don't want to do that. Now, would you please spell your name for me?
Jeann Smith. Don't you already have my name?
Oh, of course. I just wanted to make sure we had the correct winner. And now your bank account?
716-425-28-2195-3412, County Bank.
Got it. Now, to speed things up for the delivery of your car, you will need to pay the fees and the taxes up front. And we're talking about $8,300 as an estimate. You send that to begin the car transfer and we'll refund any difference from the actual total.
$8,300? Wow, I hadn't expected that.
I know. No one expects to win these kind of prizes, but someone does, and this time it's you. Besides, once you get that 1.2 million, 8,300 is nothing, right?
I guess. You need me to send that right now?
Oh, right now, yup, and here's how. Please go to your bank and get a cashier's check for $8,300 and send it to DAL Inc., Box 1476, Detroit, Michigan. And DAL stands for Detroit Automakers Lottery. You do need to do that this morning. Will you be able to take care of that?
Well, I will. I'm going to call my daughter, and she can go with me.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. You know, sometimes family members complicate things. They don't understand how quickly these things need to move.
Well, I can drive to the bank myself. It's not far.
Ah, great. Okay, I'll call you back in an hour.
That soon?
Well, as I said, I don't want to have to move on to another winner. I want you to get that car and all that money as soon as possible.
Well, I'm on my way. This is so exciting. Thank you.
All right, listen. We got a live one here. Jean will pop that check in the mail, and she thinks I'll send it to County Bank in the amount of 1.2 million. The $8,300 will be a nice payoff for 10 minutes of work. And about that Cadillac, what does a person her age need with a beautiful car like that, the old biddy? A few successful calls like this, and I'll get my own silver Cadillac. Remember that you don't ever need to pay money to collect legitimate earnings. Never do. And there's something else. Never, ever give out your bank account number or other personal information. Never. And by the way, no one should discourage you from contacting a family member or a good friend. And finally, just keep in mind that if it's too good to be true,
It's too good to be true.
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you very much. Okay, we have, we've got to figure out our next skit. Could you join us up here?
You want to do this? We'll do the audience. It's up to you. It's up to you.
No,
You
Maureen.
like doing
I
this?
guess it's Maureen.
Oh, you doing the work at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, the work at home.
I'll do it with her because I'm used to that. I'm used to the
Oh,
skit, but
okay.
I actually did Maureen's, but I'll do Jane.
Yeah.
I'm Jane now.
Yeah,
I am. And I'm a lot smarter. This skit, I am smart.
Good.
so thank you very much for your,
We need a smart woman.
we're kind of punting this morning, we're a few people short, but we're good.
I think you're supposed to be sitting down already.
I am.
Come and join.
Yep, I am.
This is gonna be work at home.
Oh, John. Oh, what, Jane?
Well, there you are. I was beginning to think I had the wrong day.
I know. Sorry, I got delayed because of a phone call. It is so exciting.
Well, what? Finish, will you please?
Well, since you asked,
Oh, for heaven's sakes, you said something was so exciting, but you didn't say what.
I just wanted to be sure you were listening.
I am listening, Maureen.
John, you won't believe it.
You're right. If you don't tell me about it, I won't believe it.
I have a job.
You do?
Yes, as of this morning, I will have an income again to supplement my Social Security.
Well, how did this happen? I thought you were giving up on the job search.
I was, but I decided to follow up on an ad in the newspaper. I called the toll-free number this morning, but it took a little longer than I thought. The young man who answered was just so nice and helpful, I didn't want to cut him off. Really, John, I'm so sorry. Jane, I'm sorry I was late.
Stop it. Please get to the point. What is the job?
Medical billing.
Medical billing for a doctor?
Not just one doctor, many doctors. And I can work from home.
I didn't know you worked in medical billing. I always thought you worked in retail.
Oh, you're wonderful. You do listen to me.
I do listen to her, but she makes it very, very difficult.
What did you say?
Oh, nothing. I was just wondering how you're going to learn to do medical billing.
Oh, Dave said, he's the nice young man I spoke with, that it sounds more difficult than it is, and that just by our conversation he could tell that it would be easy for me.
Well, how could he tell that?
I don't know, John. He just could. I think my voice projects a certain intelligence, don't you?
Do I have to answer that?
Very funny. Well, Dave just said that it would be easy for me, not that I had to do it all alone. His company offers training and technical assistance. The best part is I'm going to set up my own business. Once I train, the company will send me software to process medical claims and a list of doctors to contact. They will become my clients.
Okay, it sounds like Dave gave you lots to consider.
Yes, he did. That's why I decided to go for it.
Go for it?
Yes. When Dave asked me if I had confidence in myself, I said that I did. Dave asked, why wait? He said that he would waive the usual resume and reference requirement if I chose to invest in myself today.
Today? You mean like this afternoon?
Stop teasing. I enrolled then and there.
Oh, please tell me you didn't do this.
Why are you like this? I think you just don't want me to be successful.
Maureen, you know that's not true. I just think you need to be careful. I guess if you just agreed over the phone, you're not committed. No harm done.
I did agree. And I invested in myself by giving Dave a finder's fee, to cover his newspaper advertising expenses and his time on the phone with me. Dave has 3 children and 2 rescue dogs. And this is his extra job to pay for his wife's cancer treatments. He has to make the most of his time. What are you concerned about?
Well, I guess if you gave him a little money, it's not bad. Maureen, how much did you give him?
Well, it was for the tech support. The software was client list and Dave's fee. All in all, I guess it was $460.
What? I didn't understand you.
$4,600.
What? I still can't hear you.
$4,600.
Ah,
Yes, my little nest egg for new furniture. But I'm going to earn so much money. That's what Dave said.
but what if you don't?
It's okay, really, Jane, don't worry. It's all refundable except for Dave's fee and a small processing fee.
Maureen, how do you know it's refundable? Oh, never mind. I know. Dave said.
Jane, you don't know him like I know him.
Listen to yourself. I don't know him like you know him. Really, Maureen? You met him this morning on the phone, and you have already given him $4,600? On your credit card? Unbelievable.
Well, sure, if you put it that way, Jane, it doesn't sound good. But after I read the training manual, I can log on to the company website and take an online test. Then they will send me a certificate. That's something, right?
Yes, you're right about that, Maureen. That's really something. You know, I've heard about these work-at-home schemes. Andy's sister answered a similar ad in the paper. Different type of work, basically the same idea. The software they sent her, it didn't work at all. The client list must have been pulled together out of thin air because no one on it needed her work, and the tech support promised would always get back to her, but they never did. And she did try to upgrade her investment by purchasing more sales coaching from the company. All in all, she spent $7,300, and she never saw a penny of income or in refunds. I'm not sure what you should do, Maureen. You know, I have a feeling this isn't going to turn out well. What do you think? You got any suggestions?
Well, you should call your credit card company and see if you can stop that payment. The problem is the company you paid Dave hasn't done anything wrong yet. Maybe Maureen should call the senior fraud helpline and see if there's more she can do. I know one thing, if it's too good to be true,
It's too good to be true.
Probably gonna Do you have it printed out?
Mike can do that, right?
Yeah, Mike does jury duty.
And you can do it,
I can do it.
right? All right, Mike, could you come up to this?
There is an audience part, so if you give her the script, you could just do some small audience part.
what are we doing?
Jury duty.
Jury duty.
Yeah, I tried it down before.
You need the phone too. Oh no, Luke Fleece. He's a good policeman.
Thank you for showing me, if I get the idea.
I just have mine, I don't have an extra one.
Can I just take a look at the last part when the audience member part?
Oh, wait, this is the audience member part.
Oh, great,
Right there, yeah.
okay, great.
See, I told you I would do my favorite part. Sorry, I didn't hear that. What did you say your name is?
My name is Ian Fleece, Sergeant Fleece, from the federal courthouse in Worcester. You can check your caller ID.
I did. It says federal court. May I help you, Sergeant?
Well, actually, I'm calling to help you.
Oh, what's wrong?
Ma'am, is there a reason you missed jury duty yesterday?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. I didn't go to jury duty yesterday.
No, that's correct, you didn't, but you should have, ma'am, and that's why I'm calling. You did not report to the federal courthouse for your call of jury duty yesterday. Just exactly why is that?
Well, I did not receive a notice to report for jury duty.
Now, sure, that's what you say today, but yesterday you were in violation of code 36546, not reporting to jury duty.
Well, there must be some mistake.
Well, there's no mistake. You are Lenore Griffin, correct?
Yes, Lenore Griffin. But, you know, I've never missed jury duty in my life. You can check into your records.
Well, if you say so, are you authorizing me to check your records?
Well, I most certainly am. Please.
Well, then I just need a little more information. What's your date of birth?
October 16th, 1949.
And your social security number?
Oh, I don't give that to anyone.
Well, ma'am, if you have authorized me to check your jury duty records, you're placing a certain amount of trust in me, aren't you?
Well, Well, I guess I am.
Well, then you need to provide me with all the information that I need to check your records.
Well, I suppose you're right. 676
676
30
30
5182.
5182. Now, please wait just a moment. Oh, yeah, I just looked in the system, and there you are.
Found me? Well, you see how reliable I've been. I would never just skip jury duty.
But you did.
But I didn't. I never received a notice.
A notice was sent to you 3 months ago, and it looks like you just ignored it. Now, that's not going to look good on your record.
But what should I do? What can I do?
Well, I can offer you the opportunity to pay the fine right now. And I will note on your record that you did so willingly, and that you say you never received that notice.
Oh, good. Well, that's good. Yeah, I can pay the fine now, you say. How much is it?
Well, yeah, we can settle this right now for $220.
Oh, that seems like a lot.
Well, it's either that, ma'am, or I issue a warrant for your arrest.
No!
Well, yes, it's the law.
Sergeant, what's your last name?
Fleece, Sergeant Fleece. Look, my hands are tied here, and I'm trying to help you get beyond this. You know, some judges take a particular dislike to those who avoid jury duty, and sometimes they let you stay in jail overnight just to teach people like you a lesson.
Oh, I don't know what to do. Maybe I should call my son and see what he thinks.
Now listen, that's not a good idea. If we don't resolve this during this phone call, I'll be forced to activate that arrest warrant. Now stay on the line.
Oh, okay, I will. You don't need to take that tone with me.
Lady, I'm not the one who has a problem with the law. You do. And I'm not the one who skipped jury duty. You are. Now follow every direction I'm about to give you and no more questions. You got it?
Oh, I got it.
All right. Now take out a credit card and open your computer. And if you don't know how to use a reloadable card, I'll teach you. And don't you dare hang up until you buy that reloadable card and read me the numbers.
Okay.
Right now.
Lenore has done herself harm already by giving the sergeant her social security number. She's gonna have to do something about that right away. Should she go ahead and give him the numbers of a reloadable card too?
No.
What should she do right now?
Hang up.
Hang up.
Hang
Let's
up.
go back to the beginning and see what Lenore should have done.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What did you say your name is?
My name is Ian Fleece, Sergeant Fleece, from the federal courthouse in Worcester. You can check your caller ID.
I did. It says federal court. May I help you, Sergeant?
Well, actually, I'm calling to help you.
Oh, what's wrong?
Ma'am, is there a reason you missed jury duty yesterday?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. I didn't go to jury duty yesterday.
Oh, that's correct. You didn't, but you should have, ma'am. And that's why I'm calling. You did not report to the federal courthouse for your call jury duty. Just exactly why is that, ma'am?
Well, just in case you don't know Mr. whatever your name is, officers of the court never call to see why someone may have missed jury duty. The court will send a letter, if in fact I really did miss jury duty. Officer Fleece, I don't want to be fleeced. I'm going to hang up.
You can't snag everybody.
What would you do if you got a call by somebody named Fleece? All right, just before we close out tonight, what we typically do at the end is just kind of ask the audience if they've had any experiences in terms of fraud. Have you received any phone calls? Have you? So would anybody like to just share their experience? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've had an experience with I bought a program over the computer, and I immediately realized I shouldn't have done that. So I went back to the credit card company and called them, and they stopped it. And I never got charged for it. But years later, I still get phone calls saying,
Sure.
we want to refund the $149 that you paid because we found out it's a fraud. And we want to send you the money, and you need to go into your computer, and we got to look and make sure. I said, well, you have my address, you have my name, you got me. So I always tell them, just send it in the mail. Because I know they won't do that, because that would be fraud.
Absolutely.
And that shuts them, oh no, we gotta go back to your computer.
Oh, yeah.
And do that. So, that we've gone back and forth. They have called 6 or 8 times, I mean, over the last 2 years. Same MO, different people. But, I'm waiting for it. Sometimes I have fun with them, and if I get the time, otherwise I just hang up on them.
And you know your punch will taken, because, you know, you get these calls, right? And or an email over your computer that says you've got a problem with your computer. Right? And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll say, well, we're from Microsoft, to give you a big fancy name. And they'll literally direct you to certain files in your computer, in your laptop, that you have no clue where you're going, right? And they'll bring you to a file that is, and you open it up and it says error, 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 and you go, oh my God, this thing's all completely messed up. The fact of the matter is that error message, that file, is designed to capture data transaction level errors. You don't know that. But you know, so they'll try to hook you. And the thing is, you know, if you enable them, and they'll say, by the way, in order to fix this, we have to take over your computer, right? And that's really the big thing you don't want to do, because what they'll do is load you up with malware, which is a fancy word for a virus. You know, and the other thing is that, you know, if you're on your internet, all of a sudden, you know, a little pop-up box comes up and something like that, never click on it, because again, typically over a link, they'll take you to a site where they'll load you up with some kind of a virus. So absolutely did the right thing, so. Yes, sir, I think you had something?
Yeah, I've got a couple of calls from the IRS saying I owe money, so I know they never call you. So I told them right out, I know this is a scam, and if I owe money, you pay for it.
Good for you.
That's the way I am.
Yeah, that's good. And again, what you did is exactly correct, and your thinking is exactly correct. Because first of all, the IRS will never call you.
Yeah, I knew that
You
from
know,
that
and you know, there's a chance they might call you after they've sent you. By the way, they'll always try to reach you by mail. And you know, if they've sent you 7 or 8, you know, letters and you don't respond, then they may give you a call.
Yeah, right.
But generally speaking, they don't ever call you. And you know, and again, that's what's considered an imposter scam. And if you look at the scams that we've listened to over our new helpline, 70% of them are imposter scam related. And you know, you'll get a lot of, you know, people calling you, and they make like they're from some federal organization or federal department, or you know, you get police, you know, we're from the local police department. And so again, you did exactly the right thing. But like we said
That
earlier.
number was even listed anyway. I told my daughter about it, she followed it up.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and speaking of the numbers, I mean, again, you know, there's a big thing out there where you get all these crank calls, and I said, what that is what's called a robocall. And to set up a robocall is ultra simple. And there's multiple companies on the internet that provide that service. And all you have to do is provide them the number you're calling from, the number you want to call, and the text and the number you want to show up on their caller ID. It's that simple. And you know, you can send out a robocall for under a penny. So think about that. I mean, you can send out 5,000 robocalls for, you know, $5 or whatever the number is, right? And the point is that if you get one person out of that 5,000, you've spent $5. If you can, you know, crank in $300, $400, $500, it's a good investment from their perspective. And so again, these robocalls you get are ultra simple to set up. And you know, and back in the day, they were legitimate. I mean, you say get these big furniture companies, big furniture sales, and they automatically call you. Politicians would get a hold of you for you. But today, these con artists, that now is science, and it's really simple. And anything else anybody would like to share? Yes, sir.
Yes, I received 12 letters and big cash checks, and I got to the Clinton Police Station and gave it to them.
Good for you, because that's exactly what you want to do. I mean, you know, again, part of, we talked about this morning is the lottery winners. You know, and again, what they were saying is you've won $1.4 million, and by the way, to get your money, you know, there's certain fees that you have to pay for it, and make sure you send us a wire check, because that's like cash, you know, a wire transfer. And by the way, you'd be surprised at how many people fall for that. Nothing in life, we're all big people, nothing in life's free, nothing in life's easy. You know, we've all scrimped and scraped our whole lives, and so if it sounds too good to be true, your gut says you know it is. And so again, just be really, really cautious with these scams. And it's kind of common sense, you know, and you know, you know, like this helpline that we have set up. And I'm just gonna give you one quick example, right? There was one gentleman, I can't give names or anything confidential, but, you know, the person over the last couple of years was already into a scam for like $12,000. $12,000. And the people that he was involved with continually called him and said, well, you know, things aren't going right, we need a little bit more money. And, you know, we're almost there, by the way, you gotta trust us, and a little bit. So ultimately, he ended up giving him, you know, almost $12,000. And, you know, he's a gentleman our age, right? And he had a girlfriend. And his girlfriend is the one that made him call the helpline, because she was just sick of him throwing his money away. And they wanted another $7,000. And she said, no more money, call the helpline. And I'm glad we did, because we were able to walk him back from the ledge on giving him another $7,000. He would have been into, you know, $19,000 at that point. That's a lot of money you can use for a lot of other good purposes, so. Anybody else have something? Yes.
The new callers, they got automated. You think you're talking to a real person, and they've got it so good
Oh, absolutely.
that you're talking,
You're talking to a
yes
robot.
or no,
It-
certain triggers, it goes, I didn't catch it the first 30 seconds or so.
It's-
And then, that didn't sound right, I threw a funny thing at them.
Absolutely.
And
No,
they were crazy.
absolutely.
But you don't know, they're very, very.
Oh, no, and again, in terms of stopping these robocalls, right? There's a couple of things you can do. Well, you know, people tell you, get onto this, don't call this. That's really not a very, very helpful, because the reality behind that is the don't call list is for United States phone calls only. A lot of these calls come from overseas. A lot of Pakistan and, you know, various companies in the Mideast and stuff like that. So they're really of no, it's really of no value. What I'm seeing and researching and finding is that most of the big telephone service providers, like Verizon and AT&T and et cetera, are now just beginning to come up with some technology that you can use that will help minimize these calls. And there's a couple of companies that are coming up with some hardware that you can plug into your phone network system and begin to eliminate it. My recommendation would be to call your telephone service provider and say, hey, by the way, you know, this little short guy at the RSVP Fraud Squad show said that he believes that you're coming up with some technology. What can I do to help? And just ask them that question, because I'm sure they'd be glad to help you with that, so. Okay, now we're gonna be, before we leave, we're gonna be giving out a little survey, and we really ask you to fill that in if you could. And also, the last thing I'm gonna do is a little Vanna White. And, you know, we've got these files of life, packets that are really good. I mean, basically all you do is you put your medical information inside and stick one on your refrigerator. And if an EMT or a medical alert person has to come into the house when you're incapacitated, this file will speak for you. So we'll pass these out as well. So thank you very, very much for your time tonight.